Hello, welcome to Gabbing Gilmore. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Catherine. Today we have with us a very special guest, Kristine Eckart of Gilmore Book Club, who has some exciting news for us today. Hi, Kristine.
Hi,
Hi, Kristine. Welcome.
thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Tell us what you have going on.
So, I just released my very first book, and
Yay!
I know it's called Meet Me at Luke's Lessons in Life and Love from Gilmore Girls.
Amazing.
Mm.
Now, it's funny, we had you into our community about a year ago.
Yeah.
You came in with our Patreon community. We're having a little book club about Kelly Bishop's book, The Third Gilmore Girl. And at that point, you had teased for us that you
hmm
had this book coming out. And so, how does it feel now to have it into the world?
It feels great. It's also a little surreal because I've been working on this for years. And so some people I have known and they're like, "Oh, the book's out, right?" And I'm like, "No, we still got another year or a couple months or
Yeah.
something." So it feels strange, but also really wonderful for people to be able to like hold it in their hands and that's the book that I wrote and
Oh,
it's an incredible experience and I'm so excited I get to start my author journey with something I love so much with Gilmore Girls.
oh my gosh. Congratulations. That's
Thank
such an
you.
accomplishment. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
for you. We did get to look at a few pages of it and see the beautiful illustrations that look
It's
like such a big part of it.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous, and my illustrator, Laura, and we worked so hard on, like, getting all of the details right down to,
Yeah.
like, Suki's s'mores cake and Lane's
Oh,
purple hair, if you look really closely. It's really tiny in one picture, but it's there.
I
Just
love it.
because the fans are so eagle-eyed and they will notice all those details and know if it's right or wrong or in character, and we wanted it to be
So
a really
true.
special experience and kind of well, I mean, they're getting a lot this year with the anniversary, but, like, in years when they're not doing a ton, we wanted a little version of Stars Hollow for them.
It does feel like a gift to the fans, but such perfect timing that this is the 25th anniversary. There's so much
I
Gilmore-ness going on right
know.
now.
So
Gilmore
much.
goodness.
Yeah, which is the best. I mean, I'm a total Rory Paris, so we did plan it very specifically, to be released with the anniversary. But, I'm already talking to organizers about what they're doing next year. So I feel like with people being able to stream the show, there are just more fans starting to watch it every year. So every fall, people are just going to be in that Gilmore autumn space. So yeah.
Yes. It's full Gilmore season. It's
hmm
just all around us. Just let it wash over you.
Yes, just take it all in.
So, when did you first have the idea for the book and what prompted it?
I actually started my blog back in 2018 with the idea of I'm just getting some writing out. So I have some content, but also starting to build my audience because that is a big part of the publishing industry, that it
Mhm.
helps to be able to sell a book if you have an audience. Um, so I did that for a couple years with the intention of like having some writing banked and growing my audience so that eventually I could turn it into a book. So it's a long process, but
Yeah.
it is worth it just to be able to have the book out and to give that to all of the fans.
Wow.
And I think it was a really interesting choice. Instead of doing sort of a straight book, you
Mhm.
decided to have it illustrated and really bring in the visual of Stars Hollow. So, how did you make that choice?
It's something I think we thought of from the beginning just because the visual element is so strong and like the fan art and having so many great t-shirts and like design options is just part of the fandom itself. Obviously, it's going to be different from TV, so you're getting a different experience. But we just wanted to have as many different elements that we could, and obviously the book when I wrote it was way longer. I cut like a third or something of it. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, that's my
Was
Rory
that
Paris
hard?
there. It was excruciating,
Oh, man.
very hard. Um, but the whole thing is based off of life lessons, and something really big that I've learned through writing this is if there's something that's not working out right now, that isn't, the way I wanted or the way I envisioned, that doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen. So I still have all this content, and technically it can go toward another book or like
Yeah.
a special chapter or something like that. So I can turn it into something else. So I still may be able to get that content. And we sort of pulled the illustrations from chapters that got cut. And I was like, I just want them to at least see. So there's sort of a representation in the illustrations of other chapters or other content that you don't get to read, that are little clues to what those might be about.
Ooh. Oh,
Ooh.
you got the Easter eggs for fans,
Yes,
huh?
yes.
Christine's taking us on a scavenger
Get
hunt.
your egg maps.
Get the egg,
Right?
egg map.
We're going to call Kirk, have him help
Oh, I
us.
love it. Well, so you say that the book uses events from all 7 seasons.
Mhm.
So can you give us an example of one of those and its impact on you?
One of the biggest ones for me is, I guess it's not really an event, because it happens before, is finding your home and how important that was for Lorelai. And, that's why when she eventually gets with Luke, like she doesn't want to move out into a bigger home, or even with Christopher, doesn't want to move into that gorgeous house with like the book attic or whatever. Um,
Nope.
that she wants to stay in that place that she worked so hard to make. And I had a similar experience, and this is sort of one of the starting lessons for the book. Is I moved into my current place and hated it, straight up hated it.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
It was a crazy time in my life, and I was like sick and things were going on, and I like couldn't make it a home. And so the years that I worked to make things the way I wanted and actually like live here in this community, and um as kind of the first like home that I set up by myself, that I had lived with roommates before. So all of a sudden, I didn't own pots and pans that I had had for years. I was like, where did these things go? Um so, it's like when Lane moves into her first place and is like, I just assumed there would be
A
refrigerators and stuff.
refrigerator.
Yes.
Did you
Those
bring
things,
dishes?
exactly. Those things you think of, or towels or whatever, that you're like, these were always there before and now they're not. And I have nothing and it feels so weird. Um, but, Lorelai put up a curtain and I put up my shower curtain, and I was like, this is going to be the thing. And we're going to start there. So I slowly made it, the home that it is today, and it was a really big lesson for me. But I go through everything of relationships and, being with Luke or Christopher or Max or whoever. Um, and those big moments up into, like Rory's graduation and going out into the world, and
Yeah.
taking all of these lessons with you as you go, and then sometimes relearning them if you need to,
Yeah.
with little adjustments, because that's life.
That is life.
For sure.
Well said.
Christine, you live in New York City, right?
I do, yeah.
I'm curious. It's such a big city. There's so much happening,
Mhm.
and it's very different from Stars Hollow. And so, how do you carve out little pockets of like coziness and comfort in Stars Hollow within such a big city?
Mm. That's a great question, and I do talk about community in the book because it is such a big part of our lives, and that was such a big part of the show. And I think, when Rory graduates and goes out, we sort of know what that happens in that in between time between the 7 seasons and the year in the life. And I think she was missing that community, and that's sort of where a lot of the problems arose, because she didn't have one.
Mhm.
And like you said, New York is very hard. There's a ton of people. There's a ton of places. It's a lot. After a long day, you don't want to like go out and do more things. You want to like decompress a little. But I have found pockets of either places that I really love. I go to the main branch of the library all the time to work or write,
Oh,
and any place with books just always feels like home to me. So
definitely.
that's something that I really love, even though we're all just sitting there working in silence.
Yeah.
It's still like a nice community of people that are all working for something. There are also Gilmore fans that I've met through different book clubs. I've tried a lot of book clubs recently just to get a different feel for all of them, and I've met some wonderful people, which is really exciting. And yeah, just kind of going out and
Yeah.
doing different things and having like a Gilmore approach of like, I'm going to try this, and it could be, smells like home, Ezekiel, is what we always say when we go to something and it's kind of a flop. Like a really cheesy museum. You're like, oh, smells
That's
like
That
home,
didn't
funny.
work.
Ezekiel. Yeah. So that can happen, but it's kind of funny. Or, sometimes I've been to things and have made friends forever. And it's like, I'm so glad I went to that one thing and talked to that one person. And that was it.
Yes.
And now I have a new friend. So there are definitely ways to do it, like through things that are natural to me, like through books or something like that, because
Yes.
I could talk about that forever.
That's so beautiful because we
Yeah.
recently did an episode about what makes Gilmore Girls cozy.
Mm,
And we went beyond the aesthetics.
yeah.
It's not just like coffee and chunky sweaters and
Yes.
blankets and that kind of thing, but really coming together over shared interests. So
Hmm.
it's really cool how you've been able to do that in a large city and find similar minded people through
Yeah.
shared interests like books and
Hmm.
have that community that feels like Stars Hollow, even in a
Yeah.
large place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I just heard about is silent book clubs. Have you heard about
Yes.
these?
I have,
Yeah.
and I haven't had a chance to go to one, but I would love to. But it's basically you
Yeah.
just go and you read. That's all you
Yes,
have
it's
to do.
very
I mean,
Rory Gilmore.
sign
Yeah.
me
Can
up,
I
right?
can I do that in
Yeah.
my
I would go.
house? Like we're having silent book club. Everybody be
Yeah.
quiet and
Everybody come over,
read.
but just be quiet and read. Yep.
Yes, you can host. Fabulous idea.
Silent book club time.
Speaking of Rory, you had said that you are like her and that you like to make lists and that
Hmm.
you've included some of these lists in the book. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about those?
Yes, the lists were one of the things that there was so much of them and so many of them that we ended up just having to put some QR codes in the back so that you could
Oh,
get
that's
them
funny.
digitally because
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean it would have been like a dictionary um, to print it. But there's the full Rory Gilmore reading list, which is hundreds and hundreds of books for you to choose from and
Wow.
read. We also have a
Wow.
TV list of the TV shows that they talk about. We have a movie list of all of the movies that they
Oh
watch
my
on the
gosh.
show.
Okay, so
Um,
tell us your favorite, like what's your favorite book on the book list, TV show and
Mm.
movie?
so I mean, like my favorites have always been, Lord of the Rings is one of my top favorites.
Mm,
It's not something I read because of the show. I had read it
mm.
previously.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say books like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn or The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood that I read specifically
Oh
because
my
of book
gosh.
list are some of the top ones.
Mm.
Um, and A Tree Grows in Brooklyn is one of Lauren Graham's favorites. So it's
Oh,
even more Gilmore, and it has a message of how transformative literature can be in your life. And that's sort of the basis of everything I do is making your life better in some way um, through pop culture, which literature is a big part of that.
yeah. So fun.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
say movies or TV.
oh yeah,
Um,
movies.
I love like a funny face Seven Brides for Seven Brothers kind of
Oh,
old movie, like
nice.
the old movie musicals. I just love those so much.
Yeah. So
I
you'd
don't
be
know.
right in there with Lorelai and even maybe
Yes.
Emily watching some of the
Yeah.
Yes.
older
Yeah, my mom was definitely like
musicals.
that, so she exposed us to a lot of movies that weren't from my generation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some went well. Some Butch
Okay.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid I did not love.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
can't be a winner every time. It's fine.
I
Like, I've
gotta
seen
check
it.
that one out.
Well, we love
Um,
too that like our moms started showing us when we were about, I don't know, in that tween age and
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
she didn't know what to show us. Like we were past Disney movies, but not really
Mm,
ready for
Mm.
what was in the theater, like the action movies. And she
mhm.
started bringing home these black and white Katharine
Yeah.
Hepburn, Spencer Tracy
Oh, I
movies.
love it.
And it was a great education
It
for
was.
Yes.
us. It was something different.
Yes.
And then she laughs at a certain point. We're like, oh my gosh, another black and white movie, mom. But like looking back, we're grateful for it.
Yeah, yeah, I am too. I think education is definitely the word. Like, it is also entertainment and it's fun, but, just seeing what's out there and seeing the whole history of film and
Yes.
different actors is incredible too. And it helps teach you what you like or what you don't like. And then you can find more of it, or you at least know the references now when you watch a TV
I
show
know,
and they
right?
Yeah,
reference it, because that's also fun and important.
that helps.
It sure does.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you were telling us about your lists,
Yeah.
your worry lists. Those seem like so
Yes,
much fun.
they
Good
are.
guidance.
They
Love that.
are. Yeah. And we try to really, you know, give readers something they could take with them, that like once you finish a book, sometimes that's, the end. But if you have these lists to go
Mhm.
through, then you can find new things you love. Or now, if you watch the show back or hopefully read the book back, you pick up on more of these things. We did very helpfully notate every time I reference something that was from the book list or the movie list. So you'll see a little
Mm.
icon And
Stop.
sometimes it is just like a word or a phrase
Yeah.
that maybe you don't recognize. So once you go out into the world and experience some more things and come back, that it's like Gilmore Girls that you now understand what that reference means, and it's funnier or more meaningful or
Yes.
something because you get the full scope of it.
That's so helpful,
So
especially for people who are of all ages.
Mhm.
The wonderful thing about Gilmore Girls is it's truly an all ages
Yeah.
fan base, and we're seeing that more and more at events. Teenagers are still
Yes.
watching it with their moms, with their parents,
Mhm.
and it's passing down to the younger generation, which is so cool. And also, sometimes when I watch the show and hear some of these references, I'm thinking, if I were 15, I would not know what they were talking about,
Mhm.
especially
no.
like political things that were
Yeah.
going on circa early 2000s.
Yeah.
There's just so much packed in there. So,
Mhm.
love that you gave your audience a
I
bit more
know.
of a cheat sheet to figure out what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and I wouldn't even call it a cheat sheet. I mean, maybe it's a a helpful sheet. It's not cheating,
Right,
because
right.
I do say early on, like, I'm. It's a very rare thing to say. I want you to read with your phone by you or your computer by you because if you hit a
Mm,
word or a reference that you don't know, I want you to look it up and
Yeah.
find out more about it, or at least like mark it down for later or something, which is something I do. Um,
cool.
to learn about it, and that makes
Yes.
it more meaningful, or that's something you can take with you. And
Hmm.
so I think it's
Yeah.
important as also like a little reminder of, hey, this may be something you don't know, and it
Mm,
kind of draws more attention to it of like, check it out, and
Yeah.
bring that into your toolkit.
Yeah, such active reading versus
Mhm.
passive, and then
Yeah.
feeling like it's okay if we don't understand that. We can
Yeah,
look it up and,
exactly.
yeah, enrich our lives further.
Yeah, you can't know everything. I don't expect
Yeah.
that of anybody, but I also think a part of the show is, it allowed its characters to be so intelligent, but
mhm,
that, academia sometimes makes that seem exclusive, and it doesn't have to be
Mm,
that you can know these things and you can be really smart, and people are so innately smart. They just often don't get to bring that out. Um,
mhm.
So it's kind of also a reminder of, you can learn these things, and it is really simple of reading a book and being like, oh, I didn't know that word and
mhm.
now I do, or something like that.
Yeah,
And it's so
right.
simple and so easy and free if you go to the library.
So
And
true.
yeah, that was just something for me that was really important about Gilmore Girls is how intelligent everything was, and like not dumbing it down.
Right.
And
Yes.
saying to people like, I know you can be smart. I expect a lot of you. I expect, great things. And I want to pull you up with me instead of like,
Mhm.
I want you to grow and be better.
Yeah.
And books can definitely do that for you.
Yeah. That reminds me really a lot of Jess. He
Mm,
embodies that quality of not necessarily learning everything in a traditional classroom. That was
yeah.
not his jam,
Yeah.
but he was interested in going out into the world, seeking out information and knowledge through
Mhm.
books. And we like to think that he continued doing that,
Mm,
even though
I think so
maybe he
too.
didn't go to a traditional college or university, but
Hmm.
he kept learning things through going to the library
mhm.
and learning on his own, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a great example of that. And he grew so much in so many different ways and had a really
Mhm.
incredible character arc, and is a prime
Yeah.
example of experience and like reading and going to find these things on your own that isn't maybe in the traditional sense that, we think, but either if you don't go to college or if you graduate, and, you can still keep growing and learning and finding out these new
Mhm.
facets of yourself.
It's
Definitely.
such a nice slowing down of life too, where
Mm,
we're in such a fast-paced world all the time and it feels like you have to be going and producing and have a checklist every moment of your day, but to think about sitting with a book and taking it in and learning feels
mhm.
just so calming and relaxing, and it makes me think about Rory sitting in the gazebo just in the
Mm,
middle of everything, just
Yeah.
reading, just
Yeah.
doing what
yeah.
she needed to do.
Balance is an important thing, and it's really hard, as a pro con to do list kind of person.
Yeah.
And that's why, people always ask, like, oh, sir, you're finished with the challenge. I said, no, there are hundreds of books, guys. I'm a big reader and I do read fast and a lot, but I also don't want to speed through it. And I don't want anyone else to
Mm,
do that too. Or like, if you're
Yeah.
genuinely hating a book, please don't feel like you have to finish it. Put it down and move on.
Yeah.
It's okay. Or come back to it in a
Right.
few years, That's,
Right.
it's also for your enjoyment. That is not
Yeah.
just a academic thing. I want you to have fun with it and let it really feel your feelings and feel out your thoughts and stuff like that. So, letting yourself have the space to really be with a book
Mm.
is an important part of it, and not just, to get that rest, but it's also like creative rest and physical rest.
Mm.
That is so beneficial and enjoyable. I mean, I love a good hour, especially as an adult when there are so much things. Like if I can sit down for an hour and read,
Yeah.
I mean, that just does wonders.
So let's talk about your audiobook. We have
Yeah.
some very exciting news that Keiko has narrated your audiobook. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Yes.
my
I
gosh.
cannot
Yes.
wait to listen.
I'm so excited to be able to give fans another voice from Stars Hollow that we don't currently have on audiobook. Like, we have Lauren Graham and Kelly Bishop's voice, and
Yeah.
Alexis Bledel is doing the Tuck Everlasting. So it's just, another gift that we give people of having Lane narrate this. And throughout a lot of the book, I sort of position myself as Rory. So it feels special and natural to have sort of my quote unquote best friend share my story with the world, because who else would be your biggest cheerleader and champion, and sort of foundation for you other than your best friend? So
Mm.
I got to record a little bit before the audiobook to sort of set that up, saying, here's my best friend Lane,
Oh.
that she's going to share my
Oh,
story with you. And we're going to be your besties on your little walk and talk through Stars Hollow and a little bit of my life. And you'll have us with you wherever you go.
Oh my
that's so
goodness.
sweet. How did it feel when she said yes?
That was another very surreal moment. It wasn't planned. That somebody
Wow.
in my production team knew someone who knew someone. So it was one of those, Hollywood game of telephone things, and
Hmm.
said she was interested. And, we were like, okay. All of a sudden it was happening.
Wow.
So, yeah. And it's also very, as an author, it's a sort of out of body experience to have like the words that have been in your head sort of like coming out of someone's mouth. I don't know if
Yeah.
like Amy Sherman Palladino felt this way during the first episode. Like,
Right.
those are the things in my head, or that I've read aloud to myself or something like that. And all of a sudden somebody else is saying them. And it's
Hmm.
very out of body and surreal, but like in a great way. I mean, what an honor it is to be able to have somebody in the cast read my book and bring it to more people, and that people are excited to have that experience for themselves. So, it's an incredible author experience.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
It's so
you. Thank
exciting.
you.
Absolutely. She's
Thrilled
such
for
the
you.
perfect person, to
She
hear
really
her
is.
voice.
Yeah.
There's something so familiar about it as
Mhm.
Yeah.
fans who've been watching the show forever. And I think all of your readers are going to enjoy that so much.
Thank you. I hope so.
We would love to hear your thoughts on a few of your favorite lessons in the book. So we know you
Mm.
touch on community and friendship. Just give us a few of your favorites.
Yeah, I really love the ones on community, but it's also sort of accepting yourself and who you are and really celebrating that. That, we sort of position Lorelai and Rory as the main figures, and everybody sort of accepts their quirks. But there's some wonderful characters like Brad who really find themselves throughout the
Yes.
length of the show. And, I was one of those kids that I just like didn't feel like I fit in when I was little, until I started acting on the stage and being a part of the theater world. And all of a sudden it was
Oh,
like, these are my people. I
Love
get
that.
yeah.
it now. And that I could walk into these other rooms because I had found that confidence and that certainty
Mhm.
in those friends. Could walk back into those rooms where I maybe didn't feel as comfortable before, and feel a shift in how confident I felt, just because I was more reassured in myself as a person,
Mhm.
um, to be able to go into those other spaces that sort of push me out of my comfort zone. So I really love that. And I hope it helps people to celebrate themselves, because those weird things about us are also really wonderful. Like, I really love Brad as a character.
I love that you're talking about Brad.
Oh,
We
thank
love
you.
talking about the bit characters. They're so
Yes,
rich
just
and
so
Bum,
important.
good.
bum, bum,
Oh
bum.
my God. I
Come
thought
on,
about that a
comrade.
lot when I was reading that chapter.
Go out a winner.
Yes. And he gets like one of the main quotes at the top,
Yes.
um, to highlight his little moment because there are so many other characters that are so vivid and so wonderful and still have those life
Yes.
lesson things. And he goes from that shaking kid in a chair next to Paris to being on Broadway. I mean, like, you know what?
Yeah.
You can have all the references you want, but I'm
Right?
still me and I'm going to do it?
It is
Um,
so true. Theater. We grew up being on
Yeah.
stage, also dancing and theater,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
I love seeing the way that it really helps people both kind of find their other people and
Hmm.
gain that confidence that you
Yeah.
said of coming into your own and having presence and being able to speak with more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else besides Brad is one of
Mm.
your favorite bit characters who
Ooh.
brings that texture and the richness?
So there is the chapter on Friends. Um, I talk about Miss Patty and Babette, and my mom, who just read the book in 2 days, by the way, she sat down and
Oh.
did nothing else. She texted me a
Oh.
play-by-play after each chapter, and she said something about
Oh.
Patty and Babette, and I told a story about my best friend and I, and that like Patty and Babette, we used to sing together in choir, and we're told
Mm.
we couldn't be together, that we shouldn't sit by each other, and we promptly ignored it and sat by each other every day for like 2 years.
Love it.
So I think like just their moments of like, Babette running over and screaming about Pierpont or something, um,
Totally.
and how serious they all take that because those are her things, or
Yeah.
the reactions to Cinnamon and Apricot, her cats.
Yeah.
Um, I think like again, it's that wonderful weird thing that we all have, that as sometimes strange as your passions can be, um,
Mhm.
it's part of what makes us so incredible and so unique as human beings. And
Yeah.
Stars Hollow certainly has its full of characters like that, um, that make it such a wonderful place because everybody is so fully themselves down to like
Yeah.
Taylor, which can sometimes be annoying, but also, um, one of my favorite jokes that I came up with is Taylor having TikToks on TikTok because I just thought the wordplay was great. But it's like, I
Okay.
mean, yes, a gross thing, and I really hope he never does that. But um, just like, it's so Taylor
Yeah.
to
Yes,
be
for
able to
sure.
like get into something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, what you said about embracing the quirkiness of people too.
Hmm.
We
Mhm.
see that in Kirk and
Oh, Kirk,
even,
yeah.
Sean Gunn posted something the other day in honor of the 25th anniversary of Gilmore Girls and um, kind of relating to that point of how it was, Kirk is an odd character,
Hmm.
but we're all rooting for him. We all
Oh
love
yeah.
him and all of his quirks and his strange habits and
Yeah.
his jobs and everything. And
Hmm.
is this beautiful place where he could actually feel at home and sort of supported.
Yeah.
Even he kind of knew also that he was a misfit, and
Yeah.
yet he was accepted. So
Yeah.
what a beautiful thing about Stars Hollow.
And also using that, I think there are some questions about this in the trivia section, but
Mm,
using that to his advantage
yeah.
because there is a chapter on money. Finances are a big part of the show too, in the pilot episode and
Yes.
throughout. So it's
Yes.
something I had to address.
Mhm.
And as many jobs as he worked and how many things he tried, he did amass himself quite a fortune.
He
Mhm.
did. He
So
did
he
well.
used he used what he had to his advantage at points, and
Right?
then he and Lulu were like one of the most stable couples on the show, besides like Babette and Maury.
Yeah.
And even though it
Mhm.
took him a while and he needed a very specific person,
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
stable and like beautiful that relationship is with Lulu.
Yeah,
And I'm so glad that like he got to that point and got to experience that.
totally.
Yes.
Do you think Kirk is investing in the market or stuffing all of his cash under the mattress?
Mm.
I think he's investing. It's probably in something weird, you know,
Mm,
or something a little
yeah.
oddball. And I'm sure like he seems like a investing in 20 different things at a time
Right.
kind
Right.
of person instead of just
Yes.
one.
He's very
Um,
diversified.
yeah.
Yeah, and maybe believing in things that not everyone believes it. Like he was
No.
probably an
Exactly.
early adopter of Bitcoin
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Yes, I was just thinking that. I was like, I'm sure he got into crypto. It's like, yes, this is the new thing.
He's loaded.
It's
He's
just
like,
like,
yeah, I see
it's
that. I've got the vision. I know.
yeah,
And then he invested in garden gnomes at the same time,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
so he's got it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which,
Very
if you
diversified
look at
portfolio.
some really successful people, their portfolios and what they invest in and what they do are just so diverse
Yeah.
because you never know what's going to make it big, and sometimes they all feed into each other. So I think, casting a really wide net like that can be beneficial, and obviously it worked for him,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
and for some real life people too.
Right.
All
Anything
right.
else you want
So
to, yeah, tell us or that we missed or that we should still talk about?
I would love for readers to hopefully have learned something about themselves, and hopefully they've enjoyed that journey. But I also want them to feel like this is just a buffet table of options. This is not me telling you how to be a
mm,
Gilmore or how to be like me or how to be like, whoever. That
mhm,
these are just options for you to think about if that is something you'd like or not like for your own future, because part of what makes the Gilmore so unique is that nobody else was like them. And that is
mm,
what also makes you unique. So I want you to find your way of being a Gilmore or a Gray, because I also watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy, or whatever, person you want to be like. And hopefully a lot of that is also you, because that is your superpower, because their superpower was how special they were. And so
mhm,
whatever helps you get there and whatever gives you, you know, that little boost and thing that makes you really sparkle, I want you to find that and take that with you. And if it's one of these options that I've presented to you, amazing. If it leads you to something else and you find it there, that's great too. I want you to be more you once you've read this than,
Aw,
more Lorelai or something like that.
oh,
yes.
what a beautiful message.
So well said,
Well,
Christine.
thank you.
We can really feel your love of the show and your passion for everything that it embodies. So thank
Oh,
you
thank
so
you.
much. We're so
Yeah.
excited for the book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Me
Tell
Yeah,
too.
everyone where
wait.
they can find it and find you.
Yeah, Meet Me at Luke's is in many bookstores and online. I have a list of a lot of the major ones on my website, which is gilmorebookclub.com/book. And I'm sure you guys will link that too. Um, and Google that, Meet Me at Luke's, and pick one and buy it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I also have, things like some of the giveaways that we have planned on Instagram, which are really fun, like bringing together some of the different fandoms and different places that are hosting Stars Hollow weekends listed as well, where you can meet me and pick up a copy of the book as well. And I'm Gilmore Book Club on all of my socials. So come say hi and talk about books, or tell me if you're Team Jess or Team Dean.
Yay.
I know
Only.
you're going to be a Jess or a
What
Logan.
what about Logan?
I say I specifically said a controversial one first.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
What's your team, Christine?
So I start out as a Team Dean, but only until like the end of season one ish.
Mm,
And then really no one
mm,
until the pivotal "Why did you drop out of Yale" moment.
mm.
And then I am Jess all the way through the revival.
I like
Yeah.
that answer.
That is a good answer. We love late season Jess
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a special moment and no one
Mhm.
else
Yeah.
can do it quite like Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we identify with you also about not being team anyone for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For a while we would say we're just team Rory
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she's still looking for the right fit.
Yep. It was none of them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a chapter where I say, like, things that more Gilmore that I would like to see in the world, and
Mm.
either if it's just in my mind or it actually happens on TV, I would love for Rory to find her person, especially whoever Paul, what's his name, she dates, that
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
forgets. Like, she deserves somebody incredible, and I want her to find that.
Yeah.
But I do think she maybe needs to find a little bit more of herself first, and maybe
First.
that's part of the process. Um,
Agreed.
Yes.
Good
so
advice, Christine. Go out
All
and
good
get her
advice.
book, everybody.
Yeah.
thanks. There's also a
Go
really
get Meet Me at
fun
Luke's.
book boyfriend wish list that brings in together,
Ah.
like, some of the Gilmore guys and their favorite um, traits, and some of my favorite book boyfriends as well and their favorite traits, and encourages people to like play with it, but also think like, what do you really want for yourself? and then go get
Mm.
it and don't settle for, I like to say, excellent boiled potatoes. Do you
Mm.
know who that is? It is Mr. Collins from Pride and Prejudice.
Oh my
The guy that she's
Oh.
supposed to marry, and he sits there at the
right.
dinner table and these excellent boiled potatoes. Um, Please don't settle for that guy. Settle for
No.
settle for the right person for you, whoever that may be. Um,
Yes.
and get
Absolutely.
specific about what you want. So that's also a fun chapter just to put together that wish list.
Ooh.
This has been so great talking to you, Kristine. Everyone, be sure to go out and get Meet Me at
Mhm.
Luke's and follow Kristine at Gilmore Book Club. And we're so grateful to you for leaving us with these stories about lessons you've learned over the years from Gilmore Girls. Thank you so much.
Of course, my
And
pleasure.
congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank
So happy
you.
for you.
Thank you.
Copper
Happy
Boom.
Gilmore season, everybody. Although it's
I
always
Gilmore
Gilmore
season.
season, but
That's
It
right.
sure is.
Thanks, Kristine.
All right, Townie, see you soon. Copper Boom.